Hey, how you doing? This is Aaron Goins back again with All In Homes video. One thing I haven't done, and I want to introduce myself more. My name is Aaron Goins. I'm creator of All In Homes. This is my platform to talk about real estate, to try to motivate other real estate investors, and get connections, to make connections with people, network, and things like that. One thing that I did was I took the leap of faith to put myself out there. I think a lot of times people don't do that enough, and we only see successful people do it. Put themselves out there, but why can't it be a little guy? Why can't it be the everyday people like me and you, right? So what I did was I made this platform for myself through Facebook, through YouTube, and there's going to be some more social media accounts as well. But for me, I just want to motivate others, bring you along my journey as a real estate investor, and also motivate. I want to motivate people. I want to tell people how everything's going, and go from there. So let's talk. Let's get to our first subject. Well, our subject for today, and the subject for today is note taking. With so much information out there, with so much things going on, we have ample amounts of things that we can write down. There's plenty of conferences going along, so many. Every time you turn around now, there's a virtual conference or a virtual meetup or different things like that, and it's very informative. Great time to network with other investors, understand real estate as a whole, get to and things like that. So there's a lot of good information down. But I see, reading a book by John Maxwell, he highlighted a good point that I really want to talk about, and that's note taking. Because a lot of times people do go to conferences, and it's a motivating factor. It motivates you for that weekend into the next week. But then a lot of times it fades away. We might remember one or two things from the conference, but unless we're not, taking down the notes and writing them down, then that all the information is going to be lost eventually. We have so many, a lot of us have so much things on our plates, not only being investors, maybe having a regular 9 to 5, being parents and all the obstacles of life, that you forget some of these things. So my challenge to you is write down effective notes for yourself. During these conferences, during these meetups, listen to podcasts, write down notes. That's something I have to work on myself. Everything that I talk about in these videos is things I want to work on myself, and I want to bring up to you guys too as well, because I feel like that can help you out. So I would say, write down your notes. Write down notes. And then, even more importantly, review your notes on a consistent basis. I think that people get notes, they write them down, they might look at them one or two times, and that's it. And as I said with other things, your mind is a muscle. You have to go back and work on, to improve that muscle. If you want to, lift weights and be strong and body parts, get bigger, you have to work on that muscle, right? And the same thing with your brain. If you want to remember stuff, you can't just look at it one or two times. Some people have photographic memory, and that's great, but most people don't. You have to go back in your notes and look at it. And it's so effective too, because you might miss something. So I would say go back and look at your notes. I have wrote down lots of notes in real estate over the last year, lots and lots of notes. And that's something I have to do much better, is look at my notes. I know a lot of stuff, but it gets to the point too that I might know something, but then when I'm talking to somebody about, a particular subject, I might forget. I might forget something that I should have, studied for. And then sometimes I say half information. So I might know what I know, but it's still another facet that I don't know or remember. And now I look like a fool, because now it's like, okay, well, I'm talking about this. Well, what about that? Uh-oh. Now I'm panicking. Now I don't, I don't know. I don't know the subject, and it gets very, very frustrating because then I'm not where I want to be. And now people looking at me sideways like, okay, he supposed to know this stuff, but he don't know everything. So I would say review your notes. They're so important. Write down notes and then review your notes. I mean, they're both they go hand in hand. And I just I advise you to write down notes, and good note taking will do wonders for you. And then reviewing them on a consistent basis will also help you out as well. So, and I'll give you a prime example. Recently, I was talking to some investors about real estate and things that I want to get into and things like that. So they asked me a couple questions, and truthfully, in my mind, I'm like, that's a good question. And when I look at the notes, it's like, okay, that goes right there. And but you missed that moment with the people. So now I had to explain like, oh yeah, this and that. So I had to go with myself. So it can be really frustrating, but it's a learning experience too. Everything I talk to you about is a learning experience. I don't know it all, and that's why sometimes I use these videos to talk about my faults, because I have a lot of faults, and I'm trying to work on them. I'm trying to be a better, not only a better investor, but a better person, a better man, a better father to my kids and things like that. So I have to be better. And one thing is about I talk about so many times, is this is my biggest fault, is consistency. I got to be consistent. And the same thing with note taking, you have to be consistent with what you're doing. If you're not consistent, then it's going to fall to the wayside. So be consistent with your note taking. Okay, so besides note taking, the other thing that I read about is positive thinking. Okay, I think a lot of times people have good ideas, but then when they relate their ideas to a significant other or a friend, that person just says, no, it's not going to work. And that good idea that they have just goes right away. And I would say, don't be deterred by just the first person say no to you. So many inventors have been told no, but one person told them yes that inspired them. It can go down in history books. We had to think big. Think big. That's so important. Think big, because a lot of times when we think small, we don't expand our horizon. So then we have a narrow-minded, think process, and it hurts us. So think big. Set goals for yourself that are big. So that it might be unreachable right now, or maybe 2 years from now, but it might be reachable in 10 years. So think big, guys, because like I said, inventors, if they thought small, it's impossible to do. But how would you feel if you had a great idea, it hasn't come out yet, and you tell a couple people, they say, yeah, it's a good idea, but I don't think so. And then you say, you know what, never mind. And then a year later or 2 years later, that idea comes out. How would you feel? I think you feel deflated. So, and don't think your ideas are dumb. Just because somebody says it's dumb doesn't mean it's dumb. They just haven't expanded their horizon. So think big, and then write down the pros and cons of your idea. Get around like-minded people who are thinkers as well, and have a think tank with them. Have a sit-down session. You'll be amazed if you're around 4 or 5 people and they're open to different ideas, and you say your idea, and now somebody else says, oh yeah, well, what about this? And what about that? And now you're passing around that idea around, and now everybody's thinking bigger, in the horizon span, how much further your idea will go. You'll be amazed that when you're around people who are encouraging and are thinking outside the box, how much it would change and how much more your idea can go farther. The internet, phones, all that stuff. People say, oh no, it can't happen. But then look at it. Now it's something standard for us. So just to recap, write down good notes when you are listening to podcasts, when you're at conferences, when you're around people. Write down good notes, and also be consistent as far as going back in your notes and on a consistent basis. I wouldn't say every day or every other day, but maybe once a week or something like that. Let's go have a time. Let's go over your notes. And then number 2 is think big. Be around like-minded people so your ideas that you have won't be limited. Don't, when you have an idea and somebody says the first person know about it, don't get deflated. Keep going. If you feel like it's a good idea, keep going with it. Write it down. Be around like-minded people, and you'll be amazed how your idea will go along. So, guys, please leave a comment section. I would love to hear back from you. Let's keep the conversation going. All right, guys, All In Homes is done. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.